Listen close as we take a look at a chapter in which Leah, Squald, Link, and Jeb make their mark after winning a food war in the basement of a giant Reptis lair, and after some well-deserved rest, get some news that will shatter everything they know, and begin a series of events no one is prepared for. This week on WeTogether, The Lost Pages Part 4. The night begins in the aftermath of victory. Not a battle, not a chase, not a shootout in the streets of Iris Luna. A simple cooking competition. Somehow, against the odds and with very little room left between winning and losing, they pulled it off. And after that, they take the time they badly need. A long rest in the sublevels of Amos's hideout. A chance to recover and let their strength come back before the city asks more of them. When they wake, the Warbringers are already celebrating. Amos, a massive Reptis man and the leader of this warband of Diocese Chosen, is at the center of it all. Squald, Leah, Link, and Jebediah step out into the middle of it, and tucked close to Jeb is a small raccoon that wasn't part of the group yesterday. Earlier that same night, the little creature had been destined for someone's dinner plate before Jeb stepped in. Now, he goes where Jeb goes. For a little while, the mood is high, the drink is shared, and whatever the city has waiting for them feels like a long way off. Then, someone knocks on the garage door. The room goes quiet. Amos turns towards the sound as it echoes through the chamber.
Someone knocks.
The door opens. A lone Berna stumbles in. He's beaten and bloodied, still alive, but not by much of a margin. He carries the look of someone who has run completely out of good news and is down to the urgent kind. He catches himself, tries to stand straighter, and doesn't quite manage it.
Sector B37,
he gets out, breathing heavily as he looks at the party.
We were sent in to scout it out, find you guys. That was the job.
He drags in a breath.
The Vikes, they found us first.
That was enough to change the energy in the room. But the Berna keeps going, because the worst part hasn't landed yet.
They're not just on the move. They're invading. B41, right now.
His crew was ambushed, not long after discovering it. The full picture of what hit them is still unclear, but the situation itself isn't. Sector B41 is under attack. The Burners are already getting pushed back, and if anyone is going to move, they have to move now. Amos looks from the Berna to Squald, Leah, Link, and Jeb, then back across the Warbringers. For a long moment, he says nothing. Then his voice rolls out, low and slow.
The Vikes want to burn. Then they should learn who lives in the ashes.
That's when Jebediah steps into the moment. He doesn't speak like a man with every answer. Nobody has every answer. But he has enough to make the choice in front of them plain. His speech isn't clean or polished. It's not the kind made for halls, officers, or clean uniforms. It's for everyone the city shoves to the edge. The outcasts, the burnouts, the crews who make a life out on the rim because nobody closer to the center gives them room to stand. The people who get written off until the moment something hard needs doing. Jebediah takes the burner's warning and turns it into a call. The Vikes are moving on B41 now. People are trapped in the middle of it. Every second spent waiting is another second handed to the invaders. The Warbringers aren't being asked to be heroes. They're being reminded that they're already fighters. And by the time he's finished, the chamber isn't full of celebration anymore. Amos listens. The Warbringers listen. The massive Reptis moves with a purpose.
Warbringers. We fight.
The warband comes alive, mobilizing their force into a mobile unit. The injured Berna leads them outside to a few of his scouting crew. Battered people and broken vehicles, a ragged line of survivors still on their feet because stopping is not an option. One of them looks toward Squald, Leah, Link, and Jeb and jerks his head down the road.
What's left of us ain't far. We can get you to them. The Vikes seem a little busy at the moment.
The Vikes have their attention fixed on B41, and that window won't stay open forever. Amos rides out on his throne, mounted atop a massive trailer, carried forward at the head of the warband. The Burners lead the way. Squald, Leah, Link, and Jeb's raccoon, ride with them, moving out into the night towards the Burner camp, hidden behind enemy lines. By the time they reach the Burner front, the mood has completely shifted. The celebration back at the lair feels like another world now. Out here, Burners are scattered around damaged vehicles, some working on them, some arguing, some just trying to stay on their feet long enough to be useful. This isn't a clean army waiting for formation. It's what's left of a force that has already taken a hit, still trying to figure out what it can do next. A Burna, proudly displaying his bright orange jacket, meets them as they arrive. He's hard to miss, skinny and wire-thin, with the kind of face that defaults to amusement, like he's always one sentence away from saying something he probably shouldn't. Tattoos run up both arms, old ones and newer ones, disappearing under the sleeves of a Burner jacket that's loud, worn, and impossible to miss. But underneath that easy expression, something less steady sits behind his eyes. The people who should have been holding this group together aren't here anymore. That's left him standing at the front of a line he wasn't meant to be running, and he doesn't look entirely comfortable with that. He looks them over. Squald, Leah, Link, and Jebediah, Amos, and the Warbringers behind them, and extends a hand to Jeb like he's meeting them at the bar rather than at the edge of a war zone.
Well, look what Lady Luckdrag did. Must be my birthday. How you doing? Name's Gerald B.
He says it like an introduction and a punchline at the same time. The kind of greeting that assumes everybody already likes him. He doesn't wait to find out if they do. He just turns on his heel and waves them after him.
Come on, if you're here, you must be our last hope. And we ain't got time to cry about it.
He leads them into what the Burners are using as a war room. It's not much of one. No organized setup, no tactical maps, no neat command table with answers laid across it. Just a rough planning space built in the middle of a crisis, filled with the smell of bramblebush smoke and fear, with its people moving in and out and reports coming in scattered pieces. Gerald starts laying out the situation, though he sounds more like a man trying to keep up than one delivering a confident plan.
There are 2 gates into B41,
he says, glancing between the people like he's checking if he's getting it right. Both under attack. He gestures as he talks, like the map in his head keeps shifting. The northern gate is quieter, less pressure. Might catch him off guard if we push there, but the roads are wrecked, real bad. Could slow us down, could stop us before we even get close. Then he shifts to the other option, and his tone drops. The southern gate, well, that's where it's hot. That's where they're hitting us hardest. Link steps up. The south is where the burners inside B41 are taking the worst of it. They need numbers, and they need them now. That's where this force will be making the biggest difference. Gerald listens, but he's not quick to agree. He rubs the back of his neck, glancing towards the sorry state of his crew, then back at the group. You go south, you better know what you're asking for. Vikes call for backup and we get pinched on the highway, front and back, and that's a situation I don't want to be in. He doesn't say it like a man running through options. He says it like someone who's already lived through the version where this fails. The fear sits in the room without being said out loud. The burner's going quiet, hands tightening. Nobody saying no, but nobody rushing to say yes either. Link doesn't let the silence sit. He makes a case plainly. This isn't a gate. It's their home. The families are in B41 right now. Their people are taking the hit while this room stands still. If the South is where the worst is, then the South is where they're needed. And walking away from that because it's dangerous is something they'll all have to live with long after tonight is over. What are they going to do? Go home and wait it out? They may not have a home when this is done. It gets through. Not all at once, but it gets through. Some of the burners start looking at the plan again. Some glance towards the south. Some look at each other, waiting for someone else to be the first to believe it. Then, one of the burners gives voice to what's been sitting underneath it all.
What if we ain't strong enough?
Gerald doesn't answer. He looks at the burner who asked it, then down at the floor, then back at the map, like it might give him something better to say. Because he's been thinking the same thing. No one laughs. No one snaps back. Because it's a fair question. Then Squald steps forward. He doesn't make a speech. He walks to a massive truck nearby, plants his feet, and gets his hands underneath it. For a moment, nothing moves. Then, the truck slowly rises, grinding through every inch, but it rises. Higher, until it groans under its own weight, the mass of it pressing down into the tiefling man. Squald holds it there, his veins pulsing through the effort, as his glance nails down a point Link was trying to make. The burners see it. Gerald sees it. Something in the room shifts. Fear doesn't disappear because someone lifts a truck, but it stops being the only thing in the room. Belief, hope, anger. The room swells with emotion as the truck hits the concrete. With that settled, the plan takes shape. They won't hit the Vikes head on. They'll come from the flank along the highway, strike from outside, while the burners already inside B41 hold the pressure from within and catch the invaders between two forces. Gerald comes around, but he's still not settled. He shifts his weight, looks between people, and lands on Jebediah. How we gonna handle our own flank, big guy? If they advance south and the Vikes send anyone in from behind, the whole attack gets cut off before it reaches the gate. Jebediah doesn't spell it out. He just meets Gerald's eyes and gives him enough of a shit-eating grin to make clear he already has something in mind. Gerald holds the stare for a moment, then nods. The force is committed. They move on the south gate. The convoy rolls out. Burners at the front, Warbringers behind them. Amos riding high on his trailer throne. Squald, Leah, Link, Jebediah, and Gerald, who has attached himself to the party, move with the column. And the closer they get to B-41, the less they have to imagine the battle. They can hear it. Gunfire cracks in the distance. Explosions roll through the dark. The fighting is already underway. As the highway passes over a large abandoned construction area, Jebediah makes his move on the flank problem. From inside Beatrix, the massive Daliak Freightmaster truck that has become a symbol of their chaos, he starts preparing explosive charges and throwing them out the window one by one while the convoy keeps rolling. Link climbs up onto the roof, steadies himself against the rush of air, and uses the wind to guide each explosive into place on both sides of the road. The convoy can't stop. Every charge has to be placed on the move, because the south gate isn't going to wait. One by one, the charges go down. The last of the convoy clears the zone. All that's left is the detonator. Jeb hands it to his raccoon. Simple job. Wait until they're clear. Press the button. The raccoon looks at it, nods, gives a thumbs up. Then he puts it in his mouth and eats it. For 1 full second, the entire plan becomes a problem. The explosives are set, the convoy is clear, the section of highway is supposed to blow, but the detonator is inside the raccoon, and they're leaving its range. Leah moves. She carefully retrieves the detonator from the raccoon's throat, saving the critter from choking and her own fingers in the process. She quickly runs to the back of Beatrix and jumps out of the bed, shifting into a hamster mid-fall. The speed of the truck whips her out behind the convoy, sending her flying back towards the charges while the column keeps pushing forward. She gets close enough. She presses the button. The highway behind them becomes a part of a glorious display. A section of road erupts and breaks open, flame and rubble shooting up in a column, cutting off the route that they just came from. The blast leaves no easy way for anyone to follow them from that direction. However, it also leaves no easy way for them to escape. They are locked into the fight now. Link catches Leah on the wind and carries her hamster form back to the convoy. The flank is handled, not neatly, not according to any plan anyone would have written down, but handled. The convoy keeps pushing south towards the Viking encampment near the south gate. The main force holds back so they don't give themselves away before the ambush is set. Squald, Leah, Link, and Jebediah move ahead with Amos and Gerald. Then the road stops. 2 SMAT city buses sit across the highway, parked end to end, cutting off the approach to the encampment entirely. Beyond them is the way in. Behind them, the burners and warbringers wait for the signal. Gerald goes quiet, looking at it. The edge he carried in the war room has worn thin out here. He admits it. He's scared. Not because he wants to turn back, but because he understands what it means if this fails. This is the Burna's last real shot at breaking the Vike assault on the south gate. He gulps audibly. You guys got another brilliant idea for this? And if you pull out more shit to blow up, I'm leaving. The 2 heavyweights of the group, Squald and Amos, give a silent nod as they press forward. Before they can move on the buses, something shifts above them. A Vike scout appears on top of one of the buses, scanning the road. He's seen enough to raise an alarm. Jeb's magic revolver, Lola, comes up, and a magical crosshair covers his eye with a golden monocle. His spell, Seer Shot, as he fires before the warning gets out. The scout is silenced. No alarm, no shout, no chance for the Vikes to know what's about to hit them. Now it comes down to the buses and the 2 muscleheads making their way over. Squald sets his hands against one. Amos sets himself against the other. Even with everything Squald has, it isn't easy. The bus doesn't move because he wants it to. He has to force it, inch by inch. But it shifts. Metal groans. The bus moves. Beside him, Amos drives his weight into the barricade, and the second bus begins to roll. Little by little, the road opens. Behind them, the burners and warbringers hold their position and wait. Ahead, the Viking encampment sits just behind the south gate. The road behind them is gone. The scout never got his warning out. The barricade is cleared. And now, for the first time, the path to the Vikes is open, and glorious battle awaits them. Amos grins wickedly as his tongue lashes in the night air. Gerald looks to the only people who seem to have any answers here, the party that may have saved them, or doomed them. And that is where I'm going to end this session. Thank you for listening to We Together. Find all of our links on our Linktree or join our amazing Discord community at WeTogether Gaming to chat about the story, share your thoughts, and hang out with the cast and GM. If you'd like to support us, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/WeTogetherGaming. You'll get exclusive access to our behind-the-scenes podcast, where we talk about our favorite moments, dive into character work, and have long-form discussions about the story every week. If you're all caught up and looking for more, check out the actual play podcast Hapless Heroes, now in its second season, featuring me, your GM, as a player. Available on all streaming services. A quick thank you to our top-tier patrons: GxLobes, BrenDaniel, that guy Jake, my dad, and my mama. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, stay adventurous, and remember, whatever we do it better together.